What you are about to hear are the actual news dispatches read exactly as they were written at the time the events occurred. Because of that, some words may sound ancient or even offensive to a modern listener. I hope that does not take away from you listening to and learning from these short newscasts. These are brought to you by my Patreon page, World War II on the Air and in Print. You can follow the United States' involvement in World War II through newspapers, radio, movies, and music. A link is in the comments to this video. And now the news. Here are the latest news dispatches for May 20th, 1927. Roosevelt Field, New York. Captain Charles A. Lindbergh hopped off at 7:52 a.m. Eastern Time today in his Ryan monoplane Spirit of St. Louis for a non-stop flight to Paris. There was little wind and no fog. Lindbergh had a week's supply of Army emergency rations as his food supply. He expected these concentrated foods to see him through even in case of an accident. Fueling of the plane was completed at 7 o'clock. As the last gasoline was poured in, the aviator sat in an automobile near his plane chatting with President Mahoney of the Ryan Airplane Company, builder of the plane. London, England. A woman's altitude record for light airplanes was set today by Mrs. S.C. Elliott Lynn, leading British airwoman at Hamble near Southampton with a woman passenger. She reached a height of 16,000 feet in a flight lasting 2.5 hours. Bath, Michigan. State police instituted an investigation today to learn how Andrew Kehoe, a Bath farmer, obtained approximately 600 pounds of dynamite and gunpowder with which he wrecked the Bath Consolidated School, killing 38 children and 5 adults, and razed the buildings on his farm after slaying his wife. Another mystery which state police are attempting to solve is how the farmer carried out the complicated wiring in the schoolhouse to set off his explosive without being detected. Indianapolis, Indiana. 3 companies of state militia were called out tonight by Adjutant General Kirshner to aid police and deputy sheriffs in warning residents in the lowlands along White River in the northern and western parts of Indianapolis of floodwaters sweeping down the river. Torrential rains in northeastern Indiana today and yesterday has swelled the river to such an extent that it is rising 5 inches an hour. The river was 2 feet above flood stage and was leaving its banks in West Indianapolis. London, England. American and British Marines are ready to dash ashore at Hankow and prevent plundering by Chinese bands on American and British properties, according to a radio dispatch to the Shanghai correspondent of the Daily Express. Hankow, scene of the first anti-foreign outbreak, is once more seething with excited crowds as the city's fall to the anti-radical armies is expected within 48 hours. It is reported that General Hsia Tao-yin, former ally of General Chiang Kai-shek, leader of the moderate Cantonese faction at Nanking, has come back into Chiang's fold after having renounced him in favor of Eugene Chen, nationalist foreign minister of the Hankow regime. General Hsia has thrown his army about the city and threatens to capture it. A desperate conflict between the forces of Chiang and Chen seems inevitable. Berlin, Germany. The razing of the fortresses on Germany's eastern border at Königsberg, Glogau, Kustrin, and Stettin has been completed by the German Reichswehr, or National Guard. General von Pauwels has informed the government that the 27 concrete dugouts have been blown up as was promised to the Allies. Nevertheless, the disarmament deadlock reigns. The Allies insist that the Inter-Allied Military Commission must inspect the work of dismantling the fortresses. Germany holds that the Inter-Allied Military Control Commission expired on February 1st, as promised by the Allies, and that for reasons of prestige, Germany cannot permit a renewal of the Inter-Allied control. Germany is willing to permit an investigation by experts delegated by the Allies, but not by big groups of these. The Allies are eager to postpone acknowledgement of the German disarmament, it is said, because the Versailles Treaty provides that such a declaration must be followed by the fulfillment of paragraph 431 of the Versailles Treaty, which calls for evacuation of the German territory occupied by the Allies. The French and British want their troops to remain, it is asserted here. That is the latest news dispatches from May 20th, 1927. Have a swell day.